Yo, because I'm cheap and I can't afford a cafe overlay, I'm gonna choose this, not gonna lie. It's pretty cool. But it's just me being frugal with what I got. Although you can kinda see the edge of the table in this game. And you can just kinda see my character just hopping about. Oh well. You can. It does the job. It does the job. I'm not gonna ask too much. It does the job. So, for context, I work at a retail job. Because, being young and broke, you gotta start somewhere either in fast food industry or retail job. And for me at the moment, in my point in life, it's a retail job. Oh my gosh, managers at time in a retail job is really interesting. How do you be in such a situation? How do you live and work many years or hours on end in one same place? It's hard to fathom that some staff members of a retail job work for more than 30 years in the same place. It's really hard to fathom. But it's something that I do see every time I talk to some coworkers of a different time frame. Some have been there for literally two decades and 3 decades. But it's way too long. I actually like this idea. Using something that we have built. Make it into my overlay for now. Because I can't really do better. But what is on my mind right now? What is on my mind? Oh. Good morning to that villager. Huh. So there is no routine? What's something on my mind that I actually wanted to talk about? Oh. I guess what I want to talk about for now is how come. Okay. So before we begin, I think we kind of need context here. And if you can hear my flatmates in the background, my apologies. In many self-defense, how do I say this? Many self-defense places, from what I've noticed, do not teach parkour. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, for a place that teaches that the best thing you can do is run away, they don't really do a good job of teaching you how to run away. They say, oh, if you're in this situation, just run away. Well, how? Most martial arts classes. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Most martial arts classes tend to let you run, let's just say run 5 to 3k. No, I don't know, man. I'm stuck in a place called Aotearoa, or New Zealand. And I haven't really been, in my personal opinion, and in my experience, I have not been to a gym that is hardcore on the martial arts aspect. I have been to, like, how do I say this? I would say low-end gyms. There's, okay, martial arts gyms that are catered for kids. Catered for the young ones. But I've never seen to see them teach you how to do parkour or have the facility to do so. Majority of the time, it's always been the facility, or what I see online through self-defense videos, martial arts videos, or people like quote-unquote self-defense. Like, let's just say, for example, since he's the kind of person I'm listening to right now, Jocko Willink. With my limited research, they seem to teach about how to fight, jiu-jitsu, do some striking, e.g. boxing, karate, or what I always tend to hear from Fieldcraft Survival, Jocko, and these other people, jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a fundamental skill. Like, I always see the point of jiu-jitsu. I haven't done it. I like the idea. But I also like parkour. We always see in video games that we always have the one cool character, Assassin's Creed, who can do all this shit, all these cool things, and they can fight. I guess it's just me trying to have an expectation, but why can't we be like them? Why can't we taught to be like them? What's actually in my notes? Before I ramble about. Before I ramble on more, I also want to remember that if you're a martial arts practitioner, or if you're gun enthusiast, or people who also conceal carry, I live in New Zealand. I don't think we have a concealed carry law. That's an American thing. But if you are in America, have you heard those people who carry weapons? You are still abiding by your country's laws. Like, even though you go and punch someone, or if you hit someone, or be the cause of an aggravated assault, just remember you're still responsible for such actions under the law. So please, before you do anything stupid, read your laws, understand your laws, and remember, if you're a foreigner in a different country, you are not in your country of origin, or where you used to live, or you immigrate to. Parkour, from my limited understanding, is the first sport defined by David Bell as a way to traverse fluidly and safely from point A to point B in an efficient way as possible. Those videos when people do flips and stuntman demonstrations are actually not parkour. They're free running, and of my understanding, parkour is a less flashy version, and the more practical side of things. But that's semantics. But I just like to distinguish the two because semantics are there for a reason. And people, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, say, no, parkour is not this and free running is not that. So I'm like, man, I don't know. It's still pretty cool. And I would like to practice it too. But heck do I know. Cheers. That's my soda gun. So what I tend to notice, or what my many years of martial arts practice have done, they teach you how to fight. No arguments there. They teach you how to fight. They teach you how to move yourself fluidly. Sometimes they teach you how to be creative about it. And sometimes just make you learn how to do it safely. Like how to safely punch someone without breaking your own self. Or how to hit someone without also hurting yourself in return. We got guns training, or the America side of things, where they teach you how to manipulate your gun safely, even though majority of the time I see it in an AR-15 or some kind of Glock. Simple, but it must be said for a reason. They also teach you how to use tactics, like Fieldcraft Survival, where it's like, oh, you can do one-man CQB, or people like, what do you want? What up, villager? Here to say hi? Hi. What do I have the camera for? Well, technically it's my character, because using my character as a viewpoint. Okay, this is kind of awkward. I'll just ramble. I was ramble all about when I'm being watched, or you guys as a viewer, or I don't know, whatever your perspective may be. Gun people who are ex-military tend to teach you what they've learned in hopes that people have power, or in my personal perspective at the moment, or in perspective to teach you how to be an effective gunslinger. Bye bye. An effective gunslinger is probably a better way of doing so. So they teach you their tactics, how to hold a weapon, and how to use it in such a scenario. And that's okay. They're still sharing the wisdom of their level of the realm of expertise. Jiu-Jitsu, as the meme goes, is learning how to fold people with their clothes on. Case in point, I haven't actually done Jiu-Jitsu. I want to learn Jiu-Jitsu, but I want to learn wrestling or judo for the aggressiveness, but am I supposed to come to it and learn Jiu-Jitsu? There's wisdom for it, and I'll trust the people, even though I myself would love to learn judo instead, to slam people on the ground. But that's my personal opinion. But I want, or I believe, we also should be learning how to run. Run away from the situation you don't want to be in. We're trying to be self-defenders, not self-offenders. We're not always there to be on the offensive. We have the option, in my personal opinion, to run. And standing there, just waiting for a fight, not gonna lie, from a person who got sliced in his bicep, is not the best scenario. Sure, he got away safely and protected the person, but that's in context he protected the person. Just imagine him staying there, just trying to get a fight and then getting slashed. Does this sound like a worthy idea? Stop looking at us. Uh-huh. But, I keep saying but. However, as much as we are really, really good at hurting people in hopes to get away, I really believe that just running away with the cardio in hand, or agility in hand, would probably also be as effective than just standing there waiting for an opportunity, bam, and then run. You're going to be like, oh shit, I'm not doing this. I'm going to run as fast as I can and find an obstacle and try to lose them from there. Depending on the thief, if they know how to do parkour like what you saw in Karate, well, I won't say Karate Kid, but the Kung Fu Kid, the one with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith, where they can actually, actually do parkour as well. Yeah, tough luck. This is where I say you might actually have to use both your martial arts skills and your parkour skills. And if you're in America, I'd rather use a gun, intimidate them, and hope they disengage. But if they have the gun back, that's where I say shit hit the fan, and we're the one that started it. And in my personal opinion, the perspective of live to fight another day is probably the best at the moment. At the current time, with my perspective, and with a simple context of if you were given a chance to run away, I would rather run away 100% of the time than to not. So, to reiterate my point, I might just be talking my ass, but I still find it cool that half of these self-defense people or academies. Wait, let me reword that. I hope that these academies that teach self-defense can also teach people how to run. Whether parkour or just give them the cardio to actually run away. Instead of just teach you, let me do all this karate and taekwondo or boxing stuff. They could just teach them like, hey, when you have the chance, one hit, disengage with them, run away. Get away from the situation as fast as you can. Some people teach that. I'm not going to discredit them. But I guess it's just my algorithm, my YouTube algorithm. I also wish they taught us how to run. It may just be my algorithm though, now that I think about it. Now, in my personal experience, I am not really in the level of expertise to really talk about parkour, but in the Philippines, with some recklessness, let's just say, I can do some fundamental skills, and I think that's good enough. To me, that is good enough, and it should be okay. Now, to end this, and here's my 2 cents. Self-defense places should teach us how to run away. But if you're in a situation where you can probably defend someone, and running away is not the expertise either, and you are the bigger person to actually defend them, by all means, if you are confident, I would rather you not. But if push comes to shove, do what you gotta do. Protect the people you care about, and do it safely. If it's the people you love, the fact you get to see them another day is still better than knowing you ran away from them. Not many of us are being trained to be a Viking, a samurai, a pikeman, a sniper, a man-at-arms, an MMA fighter, a crusader, or whatever title you want to put in. Or basically whatever people Helldivers are. But we still have the ability to run away. And I believe we should be taught how to do so. And that's my 2 cents. Or make it 50 cents after some investment. But what do you guys think? What wisdom can you give me from your personal experience? I wonder. I really wonder. What is some random thing that I can rant about? Or is this like some kind of diary? What can I talk about?
Do you know what the 7 responses of
Oops.
the military are?
I wish I could show up for myself more than I show up for others. Not because I don't want to always selflessly. How do I say this? Not that I don't want to. I will always do what I can for other people, but it's more the fact that sometimes in the back of my head, I wish I can just show up for myself in hopes that in the end of the road, it would be sooner to be in the place I want to be. That's just me in a sense being selfish. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. But I just wonder, if I didn't show up for those people and be as selfless as I claim to be, then yeah, I wonder if I'll be in the place I want to be and do in a shorter time as to 2 years. But 2 years to me is already too long. Maybe 8 months, I suppose. But I can dream, I can ponder, and I can worry. I wish I was in a place where I actually have the art skills to do the things that I want. By the things that I want, I mean like tell my stories. To be in a spot where I can actually draw my characters without having to worry about an art style or have it to be my art style. And I don't think I'm there yet. My characters are kind of there. I want to tell their story. I want to tell my other character stories. But at the moment, I can't. I don't have the skill. I don't have the expertise to do so. Unlike other people you see online where they can make their OCs with such beautiful detail. But I try. That's all I can really say. I try. And I really wish my characters would get to see the light of day. By light of day, I don't mean the reality, but to become a part of reality in a fictional sense. Or to be more direct, have a story. I just wish my characters would be out there. I wish I have the art skill to make an animation studio so that I can tell their story, my friends' stories, and other people's stories, or make a story that can impact people. Both can come after, but I hope I have the wealth to make that a reality. Or other things in my mind that I can talk about. I remember writing things on my Twitter, or X as it's called now. Yep. Well, good morning, villager. There will be a point in time, though, where Twitter. Hold on. I remember writing some things on my Twitter account. I wonder what those were again. Oh, Dino still makes artworks. Banger artworks too. Uh, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, my Twitter account. There's actually a point that I actually wanted to discuss. Goals are the game. Goals are the game. Restraints are the rules. There's such a line that a YouTuber that I watched not too long ago brought up, and it still stuck with me. It stuck to me to the point that, how do I say this? It stuck with me because from my understanding, as of I'm not gonna say the date actually, even though I tend to do it in my diaries. How do I say this? That at the current moment, which will be the 26th of this, actually I'll say the date, 26th of the 7th, it made me think about what goals really mean and how to get there. Because every time we have a goal, there will always be a limit in our way. There will always be something that's stopping us from achieving our goal, whether it is finances, skill gap, lack of education, or just not having the resources. I think I said that twice, like resources. But the people who make it they did care. They probably did care about having a limit. Because they want to achieve this and achieve that. But I like to believe, but how many people I read or people I listen to in podcasts tend to say is that they still did it, but they made do with what they have, and that's admirable to me. And I wish I had the same mentality. I wish I had the same mentality to say, yeah, I can do that too. But sometimes I'm just so used to seeing success of what they have now, to the point I cannot really imagine making do. Sometimes it's hard to imagine to make do. And it makes me think more about my life and ask the simple question of, what else can I do with what I have? Can I make the most of it? Majority of the time though, I really don't know. And I want to. I really want to. So that when I reflect back through these logs, through these diaries, I can say, I'm no longer there. Or, I got out of it. Or, I genuinely made do. For myself. For the people I care about. So I don't know. I don't know. But I hope I make it. Not because I say so, but I hope my actions speak louder than words. And this is saying, don't tell them what you're gonna do. Because you're still rewarding yourself by hearing people's compliments. And I think it's a mistake that I did so. I just did it now. But to the people who probably have seen it for the first time, I won't ask anything from you. It shouldn't be requested that I should ask you guys to follow. You guys would follow if you genuinely think I was worth your time. And that's my 2 cents. And I think that's okay. I can live with that. I'm alright with that. Because I hope the people that follow me, I hope the people that follow me, I hope the reason is because they found me interesting. But who would watch me anyways? I'm just a random guy on the internet. To anyone who has seen this, it's Mocha Demonyo, a Filipino joke name. I hope you guys have a better day. Better than the day I had after work. Work today was so bad. And I can't even blame the manager. It's just a situation we were dealt with.